Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie. I love talking about books and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Today we're going to be choosing my February TBR and I have so many great options to choose from on my TBR card right now, and I actually have 2 more books to put on there thanks to today's sponsor, Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a monthly subscription service for readers that brings the best new fiction forward by promoting new and emerging authors that I probably wouldn't have found unless I used Book of the Month. And instead of having to research and seek out your next read, Book of the Month lets you choose from a carefully selected shortlist of books so that you can just focus on the reading. If the selections don't catch your eye, you can skip that month free of charge, and they also offer a loyalty program, free shipping, and the reader's guarantee. So if you purchase a book and it's not your favorite, Book of the Month will replace it for free in your next box. And I'm super excited for the books that I chose for the month of February. The first book is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. And this is a horror romance. This is wildly outside of my comfort zone, but I feel like meshing a genre more out of my comfort zone like horror with romance, which is a genre that I love, might be a nice way to ease myself in to the different genres. Also, can we talk about the cover? It is stunning. I love the way it looks, matching my vibe today perfectly, and also it is giving all the Valentine's Day vibes. And my second choice is A Good Animal by Sarah Moore. This is deemed as a heart-wrenching coming-of-age story set in the 90s. It's about a boy that lives in a small town. He helps his family run his farm, and then he ends up meeting this girl who wants something bigger for herself, wants to move to a city, and they end up making a choice together that changes the rest of their lives. I've been loving general fiction, so I'm really excited to see what I think of this. You can check out the link in my description and use the code ROMCOM to get your first book for only $9.99 as well as a free gift. I love my corduroy Will Red hat. It is so cute. And if you guys have Book of the Month, let me know what you chose for the month of February down below, and thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Now before we crack open the good old TBR jar, which I did refill with some fun new prompts as well as some of the older ones that we've done in the past for the new year, I want to talk about a few things. The first one being new releases that are coming out in the month of February. The first one is The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. This one's coming out on February 3rd. This is the 5th book in the Vancouver Storm interconnected standalone series, and it seems like one of the most notable tropes is the single dad trope. Next we have Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. This is coming out on February 10th, and I know my husband Luke is super stoked about this one because he loved Matt Dinniman's Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And the brief synopsis says, a man must fight for his planet against impossible odds when gamers from Earth attempt to remotely annihilate it. Then we have Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. This is by Heather Fawcett, and it's coming out on the 17th of February. This is following a woman who runs a cat rescue in the 1920s, and she ends up turning to a grouchy wizard to save her cat shelter, which sounds super cozy. We also have The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. This one's coming out on the 17th of February as well. I had a whole list of new releases that I created last year for the first half of this year, and this wasn't on that list, but I found this one, and it says, welcome to the Astral Library, where books are not just objects, but doors to new worlds, new lives, and new futures. That just sounds really good. And lastly, we have And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is coming out on the 24th of February. This is about 2 competing meteorologists that are trying to find common ground, and it's an opposites attract romance. It says that it's When Harry Met Sally inspired, and this is the 2nd book in her interconnected standalone series called Heartstrings. The first one was First Time Caller. I read that one last year and really liked it, so I'm excited to see what I'm going to think about this one. Also, the cover is just so wintry and adorable. Those are all the new releases that have caught my eye recently, and if you guys have any that you're excited for in the month of February, be sure to leave them down below in the comments so we can all be in the know together. And besides all of these lovely books that we have to choose from today, we also have my Kindle TBR. I love reading on my Kindle, so I really do like to prioritize picking at least 1 or 2 books off of there every month. One book in particular that I would really love to read on my Kindle is the next book in the Emma M. Lyon series. I believe I'm on volume 6. I've been loving that series. I know I did not shut up about it last year, but I just really love it and want to continue it. It's a historical fiction series. We also have some audiobooks that are on my radar as well. I love listening to audiobooks, and I feel like if I don't include them in these videos, then I don't prioritize them as much. So these are the ones that are currently on my radar, and whenever I'm going to be choosing books today, I am keeping a few things in mind. One of those things is my 2026 TBR. I did read 2 of the books off of this list in the month of January. I haven't filled them in yet, but we have 13 to go on this list for the rest of the year. So if I'm choosing between 2 books and one's on the list and one's not, I'm going to try and pick a book that's on the list. I also want to keep all the series that I'm currently reading in mind as well and try and get those finished before I start anything else new. I'm really trying not to start series right now until I finish a few of these on the list. And as for books that I'm currently in the mood for, one book that I would really love to read in February is Oathbound. That made a scary sound. Anyways, I would love to read Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle, and it's the last book that is currently out that I haven't read yet. And I've really enjoyed the first 2 books. Now, she's She's a big girl. I haven't read a big girl fantasy book in quite a while. So I'm a little bit intimidated by that, but I really do want to finish up this series so I can start prioritizing my other fantasy series that I'm in the middle of as well. I would also really love to read Play Along, which is the next book in the Windy City series. This is the 4th book. These are by Liz Tom Ford. I have been loving this series. I think the 3rd one, Caught Up, which I just read, has been my favorite so far, but I've heard so many people love this book. And those are all the books that are kind of like calling to me in this moment that I really want to read. We are going to be starting something new in my TBR jar videos for every month though this year. I figured it would be fun for every month to have you guys choose one book on my cart that you really want me to read. So I posted this story on my Instagram and had you guys comment which book you would like me to read the most on the cart in the month of February. And I ended up choosing the book that you guys commented the most, and it was so obvious which one you guys chose. Like, no other book that was commented even came close to this book, and that book is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm kind of terrified to read this. I absolutely adore Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have loved so many of her books, so I have a feeling, especially from what I've heard about this one from so many different people who have different tastes all over the board, everybody loves this book, so I have a feeling that I'm also going to love it as well. And this is based around space and astronauts, which really is not my vibe, but if Taylor Jenkins Reid is gonna write it, I have a feeling I'm really gonna enjoy it, because she's also written other books about other topics that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be that interested in that, and then I was. This is set against the backdrop of the 1980 Space Shuttle program, about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits, and it's following our main character Joan, and she's the first woman scientist to ever be a part of NASA's Space Shuttle program, and she ends up going to space, and while they're there, something ends up happening that changes the trajectory of the story. I am really excited for this. I've honestly been putting off reading this, so I'm really glad that you guys chose this one, and I cannot wait to read it. I'll definitely include it in a reading vlog so you guys can see my thoughts and feelings while I'm reading it. So Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to be the first book on my February TBR. Let's go ahead and actually start picking from my TBR jar though for the rest of the prompts. Oh, dropped it. FaceTime someone and have them choose. I know exactly who I'm going to FaceTime because my friend Olivia literally asked me if I was filming because she wanted to FaceTime me right now. So we're going to call her. I'm actually so excited for this. Do you want to choose a book for me, Olivia?
Yeah.
I can
pick anything?
You can pick literally anything.
What do you already have?
Just Atmosphere.
I picked Atmosphere in your story.
I know, I saw. I feel like I know what you're gonna pick. Like, I could just pick it for you. Can I guess?
No, what do you think I'm gonna pick? Because I think I know what you think I'm gonna pick, and I'm gonna flip it on you.
I think you're gonna pick Play Along.
No.
Really? What are you gonna choose?
I give you Crescent City 2.
Oh. So you hate me. Okay, cool.
Okay, no, but it's so good. It's so underhyped.
You really do love that book. You need to read the 3rd one. Alright then. Here we go. Oh god, can I get it out? Are you happy with your choice?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for choosing.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll talk to you after I'm done. Like you already saw, Olivia ended up choosing Crescent City 2, House of Sky and Breath. I read the first one. Ooh, I want to say December of 2024, so it has been a hot minute, and honestly I don't remember a lot of it. I'm gonna have to watch one of those little videos recapping it, which thank God for the people who put in the work to do those videos. I do remember enjoying the first one, but it wasn't an absolute favorite for me. But I also feel like it's because it was a first book in a fantasy, and also it's an urban fantasy series, and there's just like every creature under the sun, and they're also just in the modern world since it is an urban fantasy, so there was just a lot going on. And I know so many people absolutely love and adore this book, and I feel like it's finally time that I finish up this series, and I really did want to prioritize this series this winter. So Olivia picked Crescent City 2, and that is the second book that is chosen for the February TBR. Let's pick book number 3. Title that starts with the same letter as the month, so an F for February. The only book currently on my cart that starts with an F is The Favorites by Lane Fargo, and I know this technically does have the before the word that starts with an F, but I'm just gonna pretend that the isn't there, because otherwise we would just have to null out this prompt. This is a book that so many people were talking about last year around this time, and I bought it last year. Didn't end up getting to it last winter, so I really wanted to read it this winter. A lot of people say that it reminds them of Daisy Jones and the Six, and you guys know that is one of my favorite books of all time. And it's following 2 figure skaters. There's just like a lot of drama, and I just cannot wait to read this. I've been wanting to read it all winter, like literally staring at it, waiting until I'm in the mood for it. And I feel like adding it to a monthly TBR is just going to put it higher on my radar. So the 3rd book on my TBR for the month is going to be The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Let's go ahead and pick the next prompt. Reading journal chooses. Okay, this is a fun one. For this prompt, I just have to choose a book that relates to anything in my reading journal. So it's kind of like a free-for-all in a way. I think I'm gonna choose from my series tracker page this time around. I could choose Oathbound by Tracy Dion. I know I said I really wanted to read that at the beginning of this video, but since Crescent City 2 is on my TBR now, I feel like that's a lot of fantasy to put on the TBR. And I might get to this one in February, but I feel like I would rather get to it if I was mood reading it than having the pressure to read it. So off of my physical TBR, we're really between The Winners and Play Along, or I could continue the Emma and Lion series and read the 6th volume. And I really do want to continue that. The problem here is that I really want to read all of them at this moment. I'm just trying to think of like what could get chosen for other prompts, or honestly, what's more atmospheric for the season. And I feel like I should just finish off The Winners since I have one more book left in this series. So not only would it be completing a series, but I also feel like if I don't prioritize it in February, I might not read it in March either, who knows? And then I'm gonna have to probably read it next winter, and I don't want to do that. And I feel like I've already been having a really good progression with this series, reading one from it a month since December. So I think I'm gonna choose The Winners. This is the 3rd and final book in the Beartown trilogy by Fredrik Backman, and it's about this small town in Sweden where hockey is at the center of everything. So if hockey's going great that season, their town is doing great. I absolutely loved and adored Beartown, and I just read Us Against You, and I unfortunately didn't love it that much. So I'm kind of scared and intimidated of this one, especially because it's a big one. And I did just read Us Against You in my last video, so if you want to see all of my thoughts while I'm reading it, you can go ahead and check that video out. But I'm really hoping that The Winners leaves this series off on a good note and ties it up in a nice little bow. So the 4th book on my TBR for the month is going to be The Winners by Fredrik Backman. I normally prioritize about 6 books on my monthly TBRs, and I feel like I'm going to do that again, especially because there are a few on here that are a little bit thicker. And out of the 4 of the 6 that I've chosen so far, I have 3 literary fiction and 1 fantasy. So I think I want to try and get a romance, or at least try as hard as I can to get 1 romance on there by the time that we're done choosing. Let's go ahead and pick the next prompt. An interconnected standalone. The joy on my face is real right now because I was literally talking about what books I think could be chosen for other prompts. And now that I'm really looking at my cart, I feel like there's only one other interconnected standalone on here besides this book that I'm gonna pick, which is Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, which I do eventually want to read. But the book that I'm gonna be choosing, if it isn't obvious by what I was saying for the last prompt, is Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. I have been loving this series, and I feel like I'm going to love this book so much. I already loved Isaiah's brother, and he's the main character of this one. Kai and Miller and Max were just like everything to me. Like, I feel like they gave me my spark back again for the romance genre, so that has me so excited to go into this. I also really loved Isaiah in the last book too, so I'm really excited, and I'm so glad this got chosen for the TBR this month. So Play Along is going to be the next book on my TBR. Let's go ahead and choose the final prompt. Shake it up for good measure. Book from a new author. I honestly have quite a few books on here by authors that I haven't read from yet, but I'm trying to think of what would be best with the TBR that I've already chosen so far. I really have been loving literary fiction recently, if it hasn't been obvious from the books that I've chosen so far and the books that are currently on my cart, but I feel like a lot of the literary fiction books that I have on here are new to me authors, so I don't really know. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what I'm gonna choose. I feel like this is perfect for February, not just because of the cover, and it also matches my outfit, which I love, but I feel like because the ing begins at a speed dating event, I think that's so fitting for the month of February, and also can be something a little bit different than just reading a regular romance, and I'm just so intrigued by it. So I think I'm gonna choose it, and I know this is so out of my comfort zone, but I'm just like so interested as to what I'm gonna think about it. So How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson is going to be the final book on my TBR for the month. Let's go ahead and do a recap of everything else that was chosen. First off, we have the book that you guys chose for me to read this month, which was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. On FaceTime with my friend Olivia, she ended up choosing Crescent City 2, House of Sky and Breath. My next prompt was a title that starts with the same letter as the month, so I chose The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Then I picked Reading Journal Chooses, and I chose The Winners by Fredrik Backman. After that, I got to choose an interconnected standalone, and I chose Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. And for my 6th and final book, we have a book by a new to me author, and I chose How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. And there you have it. Those are all the books that are on my TBR for the month of February. I'm really excited. I feel like we we have a good array of books and books that are specifically matching what I'm in the mood for. A little nervous about this guy right here, but we're gonna make it through and I am gonna read it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you watched until this far in the video, go ahead and comment down below the red or pink heart so I know who the real ones are who watched till the end, and also comment down below any of the books that you're excited to read in February. And don't forget, you can click the link down below to get your first book from Book of the Month for only $9.99 as well as a free gift. And thank you so much once again to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. And I think that is going to be it for me today. I love you guys so much. Hope you're all having an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. What is going on? I feel like I can never get the angle right on these videos. Say hi, baby. Come on, my legs are on fire. Peace.